Irato is a comic newly translated into English for the first time. It's by French-Canadian writer and illustrator Thierry Labrosse and published by Lionforge Comics. So let me just dive right into the plot here. In a dystopian future of rising sea levels, the rich have access to a rejuvenating vaccine that can allow lifespans of hundreds of years. A young man named Rio arrives in an urban metropolis of Montreal and meets a young woman, Neve, who is allied with rebel insurgents named the Bastards of God, fighting the corporate powers that control the city and the vaccine. So, what do I think about all this? Right off the start, there's a really intriguing couple panels which contain angels, and I'm absolutely a sucker for any kind of story that involves angels that's in the vein of horror or science fiction or fantasy. For instance, one of my all-time favorite mangas is Angel Sanctuary, kind of full of drama, but I hope this gets into some good old-fashioned angel drama too. However, we don't get to see any more of the angels in this issue. Instead, we meet a fellow whose name sounds awfully angel reminiscent, this dude named Rio. And I think what I like most about this book is, in fact, actually the art. The story so far isn't anything particularly special. It's another dystopian. We've seen this before, but I really do appreciate that it takes place in Canada, particularly Montreal, and therefore talks about familiar places that are familiar to me since I spent some time in Montreal. I'm not a real big fan of the color palette used. It is a dystopian world where everyone is poor, but the color palette does change for each spread. But it sticks with like few tones for each spread. But it's mostly these drab sort of earthy tones to further the depressed state of everything and get you in that zone. And the last thing I want to say is that I'm really impressed with the printing quality of this comic. This is the first Lionforge comic I've ever picked up, and I've just got to say, wow, I really like their choice of paper. I believe it's the semi-gloss. I've never been a big fan of high gloss, like IDW often uses, but this feels really nice. As far as I can tell, Lionforge began in 2014, and they are a US label operating out of St. Louis, Missouri. So that's it for me for this video. I know it's a little bit short, but short and sweet. Anyway, till next time, read something good.